Hello my dear students, welcome back again to my channel. Today I am going to discuss with you the topic moment of force or a torque. But before starting it, let's take a quick recall. In my previous video, I have told you about the types of motion that was produced due to the application of force. First motion was translational motion, which was basically when a body is applied by a force, then a body starts to move in a straight line. So this kind of motion was basically called as translational motion or linear motion. In the second kind of motion, you have fixed the body about a point. So when the body was fixed about a point and force was applied, so instead of showing the linear motion, the body starts to rotate. Why? Because the body is fixed, body is pivoted about a point. So in this video, I am going to take the things further, and our discussion will be based on basically the rotational motion, and if a body is rotating, then what will happen? When a body rotates, then there is a turning effect, and this turning effect basically gives you a torque. Let's understand it. Suppose you have a body like that, which is pivoted at a point, at this point. So if body is pivoted and a force F is applied at this point. When the force is applied, so as we know, the body is not free to move. It will not show you linear motion, but the body will start to rotate in the direction of force. So the direction of rotation will be like that, and body will keep on revolving about this point. Then this revolution depends upon basically the two factors. The first factor is magnitude of force applied. Magnitude of force applied means if you are applying the force which is having higher magnitude. Suppose initially you applied the 10 Newton of force, then body shown the rotation. Now you are increasing the force. Suppose it is now 20 Newton force you have applied, then body will revolve more faster. The body will revolve more faster. So when you are increasing the magnitude of force, the revolution or rotation is increasing. The second factor is basically the perpendicular distance from the line of action of the force. This perpendicular distance. Second point is the perpendicular distance. The perpendicular distance of the line of action of the force from the axis of rotation. Now let's understand what is the line of action of the force and what is axis of rotation. The point at which you have pivoted the body or you have fixed the body with the help of a clamp or any means, then when you draw a line over it, a virtual line when you draw, so this kind of line is basically called as axis of rotation. Axis of rotation. Why axis of rotation? Because about this line the body is rotating either in clockwise direction or in anti-clockwise direction. Now second point, what is line of action of force? This line of action of force, the point where a force is applied. Now you know force is a vector quantity. It is shown by an arrow. Okay, so if it is shown by this arrow, you extend that arrow in the same direction, then this line is called as basically line of action. This line is in action which is rotating the body. So according to the second point, this turning effect or torque is basically depending upon this distance as well. If this distance you take as r, so more the value of r, I am taking magnitude here 10 meter. So if in 10 meter distance you are getting some rotation, increase this value from 10 to 15 meter, the value of rotation will be more and it will be more easily can be rotated. The body will be easily rotated on increasing this distance. So as we have seen, the rotation was causing because of two things. First thing was force applied and second thing the distance from the line of action to the axis of rotation. Practically it is found that the rotation of the body is basically caused by these two effects, and if you multiply these two things, like if you multiply force and the distance r, then the quantity obtained is called as your torque, or we say it as moment of a force. Then it is called as moment of a force. So basically the new term today we learned, that is called the torque, and torque is the product of force and the perpendicular distance of the line of action of the force to the axis of rotation. How to write it in the words? Force applied multiplied by perpendicular distance from the line of action to the axis of rotation, Now, once you have got the formula, that is torque equals to force applied into perpendicular distance from the line of action of the axis of rotation. So this formula basically gives us the measurement. Of torque. And torque is represented by capital T, which is equals to F into R. Thank you, class.